After a Delta CRJ-900 aircraft skidded, crashed and overturned upon arrival at Pearson International Airport in Toronto last night with 80 passengers on board, questions are being asked about Donald Trump's cuts to aviation safety. The Trump regime has initiated the dismissal of hundreds of Federal Aviation Administration employees, including personnel responsible for maintaining vital air traffic control infrastructure. This move comes despite multiple fatal aviation accidents occurring since the start of the administration. According to the Professional Aviation Safety Specialists Union, several hundred employees were issued termination notices last Friday. Many of these individuals were probationary workers, those with less than a year of service who lacked job protections, making them more vulnerable to workforce reductions under the regime's efficiency efforts. Data from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management indicates that approximately 200,000 federal employees hold probationary status. And while Trump claims the FAA layoffs do not affect air traffic controllers directly, reports suggest that engineers and technicians were among those impacted who do assist in the safety of commercial air traffic. Among the roles affected were maintenance mechanics, aeronautical information specialists, environmental protection specialists, aviation safety assistants, and management administration personnel. Former FAA air traffic controller Dylan Sullivan expressed concerns on social media, emphasizing that the employees let go maintain every piece of equipment that keeps flying safe, from the radars to the instrument landing systems to air traffic control automation. These job reductions raise alarms about potential risks to aviation safety. The FAA has faced persistent difficulties in recruiting air traffic controllers, with previous efforts under past administrations hindered by budget constraints that limited training and certification opportunities. Why Trump would seek to save a few $100,000 at the FAA is unknown. Common sense says that the FAA would be the last place to find waste, even with the false flag excuse of DEI hires. But throw Elon Musk into the mix, and things start to make a little more sense. When SpaceX's Starship exploded in January, scattering debris across the Caribbean, the Federal Aviation Administration responded by temporarily grounding the rocket program and launching an investigation. This action was part of a broader pattern of regulatory measures the agency has taken against the world's top commercial spaceflight company. Safety is at the core of everything we do, the FAA's chief counsel stated in September, following the agency's proposal of $633,000 in fines for alleged safety violations linked to 2 previous SpaceX launches. Companies that fail to comply with safety regulations will face consequences, he said. Elon Musk, as CEO of SpaceX, reacted swiftly and sharply, accusing the agency of lawfare and threatening legal action over what he described as regulatory overreach. In a post on X, he argued the real issue is that without radical reform at the FAA, humanity will remain trapped on Earth forever. A reference, of course, for him and his billionaire friends to relocate to Mars after they've f***ed up everything on Earth. Now, Musk is in a position to push for the reforms that he is seeking through the newly established but entirely fake Department of Government Efficiency. He is leading the administration's push to reduce costs and scale back regulations at the FAA, inevitably to punish the department for its oversight. Indeed, the Federal Aviation Administration's leader stepped down on January 20 after Elon Musk demanded that he quit. The move by Michael Whitaker meant that the FAA had no Senate-confirmed leader for one of the biggest crises in its history because he quit just before Donald Trump took office. Whitaker's departure came as he clashed with Musk, who is now in charge not just of SpaceX but of the new Department of Government Efficiency. In September, Whitaker had proposed fines of more than $600,000 for SpaceX, prompting Musk to demand his resignation and promise to sue. But will these layoffs and deregulation make it less safe to fly? The layoffs follow a series of recent aviation incidents, including a mid-air collision over Washington, D.C., that resulted in 67 fatalities. Reports indicated that only one air traffic controller was managing both civilian and military flights in the heavily trafficked airspace at the time. Additionally, separate crashes in Philadelphia and Alaska claimed the lives of 7 and 10 people, respectively. Another fatality occurred when a private plane belonging to musician Vince Neil suffered a landing gear failure and collided with a parked aircraft. PASS, which represents over 11,000 FAA and Department of Defense workers involved in air traffic control system maintenance, issued a statement on its website, stressing that staffing decisions should align with the agency's mission-critical needs. To do otherwise is dangerous when it comes to public safety, the union warned. David Sparrow, PASS's national president, took to social media to denounce the dismissals, describing the affected workers as our family, friends, and neighbors, many of whom are military veterans. He criticized the move as shameful and particularly egregious in light of the recent aviation tragedies. Trump's new transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, stated on social media that he had engaged with the Department of Government Efficiency to help modernize aviation systems. Industry experts have long cited outdated FAA air traffic control infrastructure as a significant concern. Elon Musk, head of DOGE, later affirmed the department's intent to expedite safety upgrades. Probationary employees targeted for dismissal have limited avenues for appeal. Reports have also surfaced regarding similar workforce reductions at the National Nuclear Security Administration, the NNSA, though some affected employees were later reinstated after Trump and Musk realized the error of their ways. The Department of Energy clarified that fewer than 50 individuals, mainly in administrative and clerical positions, had been dismissed. FAA technicians require extensive, specialized training, making them difficult to replace. If our aviation safety infrastructure is compromised, it will take decades to recover. Money will not be saved, lives may be lost, with more fatal air accidents likely, and with rollbacks at the NTSB and FEMA. Who only knows who will have the resources to investigate and clean up the mess. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.